The alien girl looked at me and said, "My mother told me stories about you." The battlefield was quiet now. Smoke drifted like gray ghosts over the shattered plains, and the wreckage of both human and alien machines lay twisted in the red soil. I walked carefully, rifle slung across my back, scanning for survivors. The war was supposed to be over, but the silence felt more dangerous than gunfire. I stepped over the body of a fallen alien warrior and nearly stumbled when I saw movement ahead. A faint shimmer of light in the ruins. My hand went instinctively to my weapon, but what emerged wasn't an enemy soldier. It was a girl. She was small, her skin faintly luminous under the dim sky, eyes wide and glowing like liquid gold. Her clothes were torn, and she was barefoot, her feet bleeding from shards of metal. She couldn't have been more than 13, and she wasn't armed. When she saw me, she froze, breathing hard. I slowly raised my hands to show I meant no harm. "It's okay," I said softly. "I'm not going to hurt you." She studied me for a long moment. Her gaze wasn't fearful so much as searching. Then her lips trembled, and she whispered something I didn't expect. "My mother told me stories about you." I blinked. "About me?" She nodded, tears welling in her golden eyes. She said a human saved her life once, that he carried her from the fire when everyone else left her to die. She said if I ever met him, I would know. My chest tightened. I hadn't heard those words in years. Hadn't thought about that day in years. But suddenly, I was back in that burning village, carrying a wounded alien woman across my shoulders, refusing to leave her behind despite orders to retreat. I never learned her name. When I set her down at the evacuation point, she looked at me with the same golden eyes. "Your mother," I swallowed hard. "Was she?" "She's gone," the girl said quietly, lowering her head, "killed in the last attack." The weight of her words hit me like shrapnel. I clenched my fists. "I'm sorry." "She told me if I ever saw you," the girl whispered, "I should trust you." I knelt to meet her eyes. "Do you have a name?" "Lyra," she said softly. "I'm Ethan." Lyra's gaze darted around the smoking battlefield. "They'll come back. The scavengers. We can't stay here." I didn't argue. I took off my jacket and wrapped it around her trembling shoulders. "Come on. I'll get you somewhere safe." We moved quickly through the wreckage, careful to avoid open ground. My ship wasn't far, hidden in a canyon where the scanners couldn't detect it. Along the way, I kept glancing at Lyra, trying to piece together the connection between us. Her mother, had she survived because of me? And why had she told her daughter about a human soldier? "Did your mother ever tell you my name?" I asked quietly as we walked. Lyra shook her head. "Only that you were different, that you didn't see us as monsters." I exhaled slowly. Most humans didn't either, but war changes how people look at each other. She said you smiled. Lyra said softly, "Even when you were bleeding." That stopped me in my tracks. I had been bleeding that day, badly. Only someone who'd been there would know that. By the time we reached the canyon, night had fallen. My ship, a battered single-pilot transport, was half buried under sand, but it still worked. I got Lyra inside and sealed the hatch. The hum of the life support systems was a welcome sound after the silence of the battlefield. She sat quietly on the bench, hugging my jacket to her chest. For the first time, I noticed she was wearing a pendant, a simple metal charm shaped like a star. "Your mother's?" I asked. Lyra nodded. She said it was from you. I froze. "From me?" "She said you gave it to her after you saved her," Lyra whispered. She said, "Humans give stars to people they want to remember." I sank into the seat opposite her, stunned. That star pendant. I'd given it to a woman years ago, in a moment of desperation, when I thought I wouldn't survive the battle. I'd said, "If you make it out alive, keep this." Remember there's good in the universe. I never thought I'd see it again. She kept it all her life, Lyra said softly. She said it gave her hope. We didn't speak much that night. Lyra fell asleep curled in my jacket, and I sat watching the stars outside the viewport. Memories of her mother haunted me. Memories of fire, blood, and the desperate hope that maybe saving one life could make up for the hundreds I couldn't. In the morning, I plotted a course toward the nearest safe zone. But as I prepared the ship, Lyra touched my arm. They'll come after me, she said quietly. Who? The ones who killed my mother, Lyra whispered. They want me too. Why? I asked. Lyra hesitated, then lifted her sleeve. Glowing lines pulsed faintly beneath her skin, forming strange patterns, symbols I didn't recognize. My mother said I'm special, she murmured, that I carry something inside me they fear. I stared at the markings. I'd seen similar patterns on alien relics, ancient technology that humans barely understood. If Lyra was connected to that, she wasn't just a refugee. She was a target. 2 days into our journey, the hunters found us. They came in black ships, fast and silent, weapons armed. I barely had time to throw the ship into evasive maneuvers. Plasma fire streaked past us, lighting up the darkness. Lyra clung to her seat, eyes wide with terror. Hold on, I shouted. We dove into an asteroid field, weaving through jagged rocks. The black ships followed, relentless. My old transport groaned under the strain, shields flickering. They won't stop, Lyra whispered. Then neither will I. I aimed for the densest cluster of asteroids and cut the engines. The ship drifted silently, hidden among the rocks. The hunters swept past, scanning, unaware we were floating right beneath them. When they finally moved on, I let out a shaky breath. Lyra stared at me, trembling. You saved me, she whispered. Again, I said, managing a faint smile. We reached the human outpost 3 days later. The soldiers there looked at Lyra with suspicion. Another alien, another potential threat. But when I spoke for her, they relented. She stayed close to me the entire time, clutching her mother's star pendant. One night, as we watched the twin moons rise over the outpost walls, Lyra spoke quietly. My mother said you were brave, she murmured, but she never told me you were kind. I looked at her, surprised. She said, Lyra continued, if I ever met you, I should tell you thank you. Emotion caught in my throat. You don't need to thank me. I do, Lyra insisted softly, because you didn't just save her. You saved me too. War takes everything from you, your friends, your faith, your reason to believe in good. But as I stood there with Lyra, her small hand clutching mine, I realized something. Maybe saving one life had been enough, because that one life had led to another. And now, because of her mother's stories, I wasn't just a soldier to Lyra. I was hope.